In a surprise move that has sent shockwaves through diplomatic circles, senior Republican leaders have landed in Ottawa, stepping onto Canadian soil at a moment of heightened tension between the two countries. Their arrival comes just days after President Trump's dramatic announcement of sweeping tariffs on Canadian and Mexican goods, a decision that has rattled markets and left North American businesses scrambling to assess the fallout. The delegation, made up of powerful committee chairs and senators from trade-dependent states, is not traveling with the president's blessing, raising eyebrows in both capitals. Their presence here is a bold statement, signaling internal dissent within the Republican Party, and a willingness to challenge the White House's hardline stance. Their visit is a clear sign of growing unease within the GOP, as Trump's America First agenda collides with the economic realities back home. Many of these lawmakers represent states whose economies are deeply intertwined with Canadian trade, and they are feeling the pressure from constituents worried about lost jobs and rising prices. Officially, this is a routine meeting, but the secrecy and urgency suggest otherwise. Behind closed doors, the discussions are tense, with both sides searching for a way to de-escalate the brewing trade conflict before it spirals further. These leaders are here to reassure Canada that not all of Washington supports the new protectionist path. They want to show that there are still voices in Congress committed to preserving the long-standing partnership between the two nations. For Canadian officials, the visit is both a glimmer of hope and a reminder of deep divisions in U.S. politics. While they welcome the outreach, they know that the path forward is uncertain and that the rift in Washington could complicate any resolution. The real power to change course still rests with President Trump, but this trip sends a message, loud and clear, that the trade war is causing serious problems for his own party. The GOP is feeling the heat, and the cracks are starting to show. The faces on Parliament Hill reflect concern and political pressure. Canadian leaders are weighing their options, knowing that the stakes for their economy and for the broader relationship have never been higher. This isn't about making deals, it's about signaling to Washington that the stakes are high, and that the consequences of a prolonged trade war could be severe for both sides of the border. The GOP's Ottawa mission is damage control, not diplomacy. As the delegation prepares to return home, the world is watching to see if their message will resonate in the White House, or if the rift within the Republican Party will only deepen as the trade dispute drags on. President Trump's sweeping new 25% tariff on all Canadian and Mexican imports has sent shockwaves through the business world and across North America. This policy, announced as a cornerstone of his second-term agenda, marks a dramatic escalation in his ongoing trade war strategy. It's the centerpiece of his renewed America First approach, designed to prioritize American workers and industries above all else. Trump argues that these tariffs will restore American manufacturing and protect jobs that have been lost to globalization. The administration's goal is clear: force companies to bring jobs and production back to the U.S. by making foreign goods more expensive and less attractive to American consumers and businesses. Supporters hail it as a bold correction to decades of outsourcing, but the reality is far more complex than campaign slogans suggest. Economists warn that such sweeping tariffs could have unintended consequences. North American supply chains are deeply intertwined. A single car assembled in Detroit might cross the US-Canada or US-Mexico border several times before it's finished. Tariffs at every stage of production could disrupt this delicate balance. As a result, the cost of making everyday products could skyrocket, making them unaffordable for many consumers. Prices on store shelves may rise quickly, hitting families where it hurts most. The burden of these tariffs is ultimately passed on to American businesses and families, raising prices on everything from new homes and cars to groceries and household goods. Small businesses in particular may struggle to absorb these higher costs. While the policy aims to protect American jobs, it risks making life more expensive for millions of ordinary people, especially those already feeling squeezed by inflation and stagnant wages. The new tariffs don't just stop at North America, they also target agricultural goods from China and other countries, escalating global trade tensions and threatening to spark retaliatory measures from U.S. trading partners. The promise of economic revival is now clashing with the reality of higher costs, disrupted industries, and growing uncertainty for both workers and business owners. As the debate continues, one thing is clear: America First may end up costing Americans the most, leaving families and businesses to navigate an uncertain economic future. Trump's trade war has split the Republican Party down the middle. On one side, America First loyalists, who see tariffs as a path to national revival and pride. On the other, pro-business Republicans, whose states depend on free trade and global supply chains. Farmers fear losing export markets, automakers warn of chaos and job losses. The internal conflict is more than a policy debate, it's a battle over the party's identity. The trip to Canada is a sign that some Republicans feel compelled to act independently to protect their states. With a government shutdown and poor election results, the party's divisions are on full display. Many Republicans now face a stark choice: stand with Trump or defend their state's economic interests. The GOP's unity is under unprecedented strain. For farmers and factory workers, the tariff debate is personal and painful. Canada and Mexico are top buyers of U.S. crops. Retaliatory tariffs could devastate American agriculture. Farmers already hit by Chinese tariffs now fear losing even more markets. Many operate on thin margins. A prolonged trade war could be ruinous. The auto industry is equally vulnerable. North American manufacturing relies on seamless cross-border supply chains. New tariffs threaten to shatter this system, raising costs and risking layoffs. If building cars becomes too expensive, jobs could vanish or move overseas. The very workers tariffs are meant to protect may be the first to suffer. Policy decisions in Washington are hitting home in the heartland and on the factory floor. The crossfire is real and livelihoods are on the line. Behind closed doors, Republican dissent is growing. Even Trump's usual allies like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Vice President J.D. Vance are questioning his priorities. They argue that voters care more about affordability and ending the government shutdown than foreign policy battles. The shutdown, now in its 38th day, is fueling frustration and anger at town halls. Senate Republicans recently rejected Trump's push to eliminate the filibuster, a rare act of defiance. Grassroots anger is rising, especially over deep spending cuts from the new Department of Government Efficiency. The party's leadership is struggling to contain the backlash. The disconnect between Washington and voters is growing, and so is the risk for the GOP. The Republican wall is showing serious cracks. The GOP delegation in Ottawa isn't offering apologies. They're walking a diplomatic tightrope. Their mission: explain, listen, and reassure Canadian leaders that powerful voices in the U.S. value the partnership. They're trying to mitigate damage, signal hope for exemptions, and keep communication open despite White House hostility. This is political triage, not grand diplomacy. Lawmakers blindsided by the tariffs are scrambling to show constituents they're fighting for their interests. The trip is as much about optics at home as it is about foreign relations. These Republicans are caught between a president demanding loyalty and voters demanding stability. Their visit is a calculated risk, balancing party unity with economic survival. It's not an apology tour, but a survival mission. The stakes, their political futures, and the economic health of their states. The trade war's effects are hitting Americans where it hurts: their wallets. Car prices are set to rise as tariffs stack up on cross-border parts and vehicles. The electric vehicle market, once boosted by tax credits, now faces higher costs and uncertainty. Food prices will climb as tariffs hit imports from Canada and Mexico, while retaliatory tariffs threaten U.S. farmers. Economic uncertainty is spreading. Businesses hesitate to invest, expand, or hire. The tariffs, meant to create jobs, could end up costing them. For families, it means higher bills and fewer opportunities. The government shutdown only deepens the anxiety. The cost of this trade war is becoming impossible to ignore. The GOP's high-profile trip to Ottawa has sparked a crucial debate. Are we witnessing the party's evolution into something new, or is it on the verge of imploding under the weight of its own contradictions? The stakes have never been higher, and the world is watching closely as the party navigates this pivotal moment. Deep divisions over trade, government spending, and the party's core values have erupted into open conflict, leaving the GOP looking like a party at war with itself. Factions are clashing not just behind closed doors but in public, with heated debates and protests spilling into the streets and onto the airwaves. Trump's populist base demands unwavering loyalty to his America First agenda, but the business community and rural farmers, once reliable Republican allies, are feeling the strain. Many small business owners and agricultural workers are caught in the crossfire, uncertain about their future. The government shutdown is more than just a political standoff. It's a symptom of a deeper paralysis with real consequences for federal workers and families across the country who are left in limbo. Some Republicans see this turmoil as a necessary, if painful, evolution. A party forging a new, more nationalist identity that reflects the changing mood of its base and the country at large. But others worry that if the economic pain continues, if businesses keep closing and small towns keep emptying out, this could be the prelude to a total collapse, not just for the party, but for the communities it claims to represent. Polls consistently show that voters are most concerned about the economy, their jobs, and the cost of living. Foreign policy and ideological battles take a back seat when families are struggling to make ends meet. If America First policies keep driving up prices and costing people their jobs, the patience of even the most loyal voters will eventually run out. Economic anxiety is turning into frustration, and frustration into anger. The GOP's future now hangs in the balance. Can it deliver real results for ordinary Americans? Or will it adapt its message and policies before it's too late? The choices made in the coming months will shape the party for a generation. The next chapter will determine whether the Republican Party emerges from this crisis stronger and more united, or fractured and weakened for years to come. The outcome is uncertain, but one thing is clear: the stakes could not be higher.